Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 118 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. I hope you're having a fantastic day. First things first, I would like to apologize for the lack of consistent episodes. There's a few reasons for that, which I will get through in just a little bit. But before we begin, and today's episode is really great. I was fortunate enough to speak at the Uncharted Veterinary Conference, which was all the way back in April 7th through the 9th. So I've been sitting on these audio files for a long time. I've been so busy. But at this conference, which was amazing, so Dr. Andy Roark and his team put on a veterinary conference that was unlike anything I'd ever been to, for sure. So it was just the best word to describe it was amazing. The people who attended were fantastic, amazing people. The staff was amazing. The speakers were fantastic. It was just really, really amazing. So I was fortunate enough to speak there, and I was able to interview some of the speakers. And unfortunately, I was not able to interview all of the speakers. I really would have loved to. It was hectic with all of the talks going on and things. So I got 4 speakers to be interviewed there, and I asked them a question: what was the biggest takeaway that they got, or that they gave? What was the number one kind of piece of marketing advice that they could give? So on this episode, we have Dr. Andy Roark, we have Dr. Cody Creelman, we have Danielle Lambert, and we have Dr. DeWilde. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to interview all of the speakers there, but I definitely got some good insights from these 4. So very excited about today's episode. Before we begin, I'd like to mention a few things. First, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes. And if you could do me a huge favor, please leave me an honest review. I would really, really appreciate it very much. Also, be sure to check out my newsletter. It's filled with tips and tricks that will help you to become a better digital marketer in your veterinary practice, hopefully reach more clients, and help more pets. So if you want to text the word veterinary to 44222, you can receive that newsletter sent to you. I have a lot more content that's ready to go. I've just been so busy. So I'd also like to mention, though, before we begin, that this episode is being sponsored by snoutschool.com. So do you ever feel like you're wasting time with your veterinary hospital's social media efforts? Veterinary practice manager Danielle Lambert has put together a list of 5 awesome social media tools that every hospital needs to succeed. Danielle is dedicated to teaching veterinary hospitals to use social media via her website, snoutschool.com. So go to snoutschool.com/Brandon to get her list of 5 must-have social media tools now. You'll learn how to create professional-looking social media graphics, you'll save time by scheduling posts, and you'll find out where your clients are spending time online. Not only that, she's got great tips for getting your whole veterinary team to understand the importance of social media. So head on over to snoutschool.com/Brandon to get that 5 must-have social media tools for your practice today. That's snoutschool.com/BRANDON. All right. So just a quick note here about frequency of posts and things. There's a lot of content that I have piled up here. Just need to get this published out, and so I apologize for not being consistent every single week. I'm going to do my best to make sure to get content out there. Definitely, though, as I post, I want to make sure that it is valuable content that's going to be worth your time to listen to. So I'm only going to be posting as often as something comes up that is noteworthy for sure. So there's a lot of really cool changes that have been happening to ad platforms, digital marketing platforms, and a few new strategies that I'm very, very excited about. So I'll be sharing those. But it might not be every single Monday. Just wanted to give you that forewarning. There's a lot of content out there. As always, if you have any questions, comments, need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. The best way to get hold of me lately is through Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/veterinary marketing podcast, you can send me a message there in the messenger section, and I'd be happy to respond there. So let's get into today's episode. So as I mentioned, we have 4 guests today. I'm so bummed I wasn't able to get all of the speakers from Uncharted on today. There was, really, really amazing speakers. People that I did not get, just so that I don't miss anybody. We had Dr. Jessica Vogelsang, who's been on the podcast before. Was not able to get her and ask her a question. Unfortunately, I would have loved to speak with her. Maurice Allin, he was really fascinating. I've never had him on the podcast before, but man, he gave a really amazing talk. He's an ad agency, had an ad agency background, and just was an amazing talk about storytelling and brand and all kinds of just amazing insight that he delivered in his talk. Also wasn't able to get Summer Holmstrand-Irtimer. I hope I pronounced that right, Summer. Hopefully I didn't butcher your last name. And also I didn't get Heather Prendergast on as well. But if you have the ability and the time to go to Uncharted next year, absolutely you should go to Uncharted. You can go to unchartedvet.com or head on over to their Facebook page to get updates. It was really amazing. I think if you ask anybody who attended, they will tell you it was worth the time and money that it cost to buy a ticket to go. It was just amazing. Everything was fantastic. So congratulations on an amazing first year, Andy and team. So the first guest that we have is Dr. Andy Roark. So without further ado, here's Dr. Andy Roark. Sorry for all the background noise. We were at the conference. So here's Andy. We were having a great conversation, and I didn't push the record button. So this event was amazing.
Thanks, man.
Fantastic. Everything was amazing, from the food to your staff. Everybody was just 100%. There was nothing that went wrong. I'm just blown away. So what is the biggest marketing lesson, I guess, in general, that you've learned from this event? Because I think the practices can learn from events.
Well, what you and I talk about a lot, which is you build a relationship in the digital space and treat it like a personal relationship. You be genuine with people, you put yourself out there, you try to build a relationship, and then guess what? You can convert that into an actual face-to-face relationship, and it works. And that's the biggest take-home here is this has been beyond my wildest dreams and how well it's gone. I can say that now that we're at the end. But it really came from the fact that people showed up here, they knew each other, they were engaged, they already had a working relationship. They had a working relationship with me and my team, and it was like old friends the first time we ever saw each other. And that just set the tone for everything, and it just couldn't be more positive and supportive and awesome because we laid all that groundwork on social media, via email, just sharing and trying to be supportive online. And then we see the person face to face, and it's just we have a culture here that I think traditional conferences would struggle to have after 5 years of people coming again and again and again.
That's a great, I didn't even think about that. That's amazing. That's what everybody's saying. Their favorite thing, I've been asking people, what's their favorite thing they learned this weekend? And they said it's not a thing. It's that I feel like I'm family here, that it's community. So cultivating a community of people who had never met before, you can do that with digital marketing for sure. So that's fantastic, man. Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
It, man.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
So I love Andy's response to the question. I think that people forget that when you're online and when you're trying to communicate with clients, build a community around your brand or find the right people that you're trying to attract to your practice, that really, at the end of the day, people are just people, and they behave like normal humans online, especially with things like Facebook, where they're not anonymous. And I will put that caveat in there. YouTube is a different beast for sure, because people have some level of anonymity for sure. But with Facebook, they're out in public, so it's their actual name and info. And obviously, there are crazy people, but people like to engage just how they normally do in real life. And so you can absolutely take relationships that you've built through digital and turn it into real life experiences and real life relationships. And you can leverage all of that goodwill that you've built either through your online presence or the marketing that you're doing, and actually turn it into somebody who's no longer a stranger, but they feel like they know you. And so I think that a lot of times, especially if you're putting out a lot of content that has your face on it or your practice, people will get to know what you're like, and you're going to be able to leverage all of that work and your branding into a situation where you build relationships that are going to really translate in real life as well, not just online with digital marketing. So I think that is some really good insight from Andy. So the next guest that we have is Dr. Caitlin DeWilde. So without further ado, here's Dr. Caitlin DeWilde. Okay, so we're at Uncharted with Dr. Caitlin DeWilde, the social DVM, and I was wondering, what is your biggest takeaway or most valuable insight that you gave or you discovered that was helpful for people based on your talks here and talking with people?
So I think the biggest thing that I took away, and that I talked about a little bit, but just was really reinforced to me by everybody that is here, is that how much we have an opportunity to tell our story and to combat, unfortunately, all the bad info that's on the internet. And we can do that so easily now. You don't have to be a graphic designer. You don't have to be a professional photographer or videographer. There's a lot of really innovative ways, and ultimately it comes down to putting your face out there, telling your story, and getting your hands on those clients and getting your hands on those pets, because at the end of the day, we're here to help pets live better lives. And all the marketing, all the storytelling that we're doing, the bottom line, and like Dr. Roark said today, the end of the funnel is getting these people in the exam room so we can share our knowledge and better help that pet.
Perfect. I think that's great. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. So I love Caitlin's answer, fantastic answer that she had there. I think that it is so important to tell your practice's story, because if you don't control the narrative, then somebody else will, for sure. And so what we're seeing right now, especially in the veterinary industry, is a lot of people who are just content producers. It can be clickbait headlines or fake news type headlines getting out there that gets shared a lot. And so if veterinarians and veterinary professionals don't start controlling the narrative, then it's just going to go out on its own. And ultimately, I don't think that's going to be good for the profession. So telling your story is extremely important, but also telling it in a way that is going to appeal to the worldview or the beliefs of the people that you're trying to attract. So to your practice. So not necessarily trying to change everybody's mind, but just trying to find the right people who are going to be the ideal clients. And telling your story in a way so that it appeals to them is very, very important. So fantastic answer, and I really enjoyed it. So it was great to meet Caitlin for the first time as well. So thank you, Dr. DeWilde. Really appreciate it. Next, we have Danielle Lambert. So without further ado, here's Danielle's answer. Okay, we're with Danielle Lambert at Uncharted. So Danielle, I wondered what you thought your number one thing that you learned either from this event or that people took away the best thing that they learned from this conference, marketing-wise. Ooh. Your best advice.
I think one of the best things that we've discussed over and over again is that it's so important to have a holistic approach to marketing, to involve your whole team, and to let them know what you're doing. Like, don't be a mad scientist working on the marketing by yourselves. A lot of the people that are here love marketing, but it's so important to get the entire team involved so they know what's going on and they can help you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
So I think Danielle's answer is fantastic. And this really is an area that I have absolutely no experience in, because I've never worked in a practice before. I'm just a digital marketer. And that being said, I think that Danielle is right on, that you can't be working all by yourself, toiling away, especially if you're in charge of your practice's social media. You need to have buy-in, you need to have participation, and make sure that everybody's on the same page. That way it doesn't just seem like you're working and nobody's appreciating what you're doing. And a great resource that's really, really fantastic. And Danielle's extremely well-versed on this subject, along with a bunch of other subjects that you can get help on, is Danielle's Snout Veterinary social media group on Facebook. So if you're not a member of that group, be sure to join it, because it really is full of great resources, other people and professionals that will help you to get all the knowledge that you need and really chime in and help out. If you ever have questions or are trying to figure out the best way to get buy-in from owners or from team members and things like that. So that was a really good answer, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Danielle. So the last one is Dr. Cody Creelman. And so here is Dr. Cody Creelman's answer. So Cody, tell me what the best piece of marketing advice that you could give that you've learned either from this event or from dealing with people. What do you think is the best piece of marketing advice that you could give?
Well, the thing that I wrote on my little card, my one thing of wisdom that I shared with my group, was to read Gary Vaynerchuk's books. And actually, we even had one of my members at my table who has Gary V as her background on her phone.
That's
so
fantastic.
we found another Vayniac in the crowd.
That's awesome.
So jab, 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 right hook, crush it, and thank you, economy. You absolutely have to read those books. That has been pivotal.
Ask Gary V.
Ask Gary V. It has been pivotal to my marketing success for sure.
Very cool. That's great advice. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So I totally agree with Cody. Gary Vaynerchuk is the man. I really, really like his books. I've read all his books, and his kind of formula that Cody referenced there was jab, 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 right hook. And if you haven't read that book, you should absolutely get it. It's a quick read, very, very good, very effective. But basically the premise is that you give, and then ask. So with your audience and your pet owners that are online, be giving. And that's kind of the formula is jab, 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 right hook. Give, and then ask. But absolutely, I think that's required reading for anybody who's doing digital marketing online, managing social media presences, anything like that. You should absolutely read that book. But that was definitely a good answer, and those are practical guides that are going to help you in your practices marketing. Obviously, it's been successful for Cody because he's got a great digital marketing presence, and he's rocking it. So that's very good. So that wraps it up for this episode. As always, if you need any help with anything, and just real quick too, before we finish up here, I just want to say thank you so much to Dr. Andy Roark, to your team for having such an amazing conference. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. It was really, really fun, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate all the people that I got to meet. It was really, really fantastic. So many cool people that were there. Just an amazing community of people. So thank you very much. And don't forget to be sure to subscribe to the podcast in iTunes. If you haven't done so already, please leave me an honest review. I would really, really appreciate it. And I will see you on next episode. Have a great day.